the podcast is ready.
Is this your new intro?
I'm gonna make a shirt out of that. I swear to God, it's gonna happen one of these days. One of these days when we have time. Welcome everybody to HyperCast, our daily podcast show here on Hyper RPG, where we give the community updates as to what's been going on in our lives and the world around us, because we are living in a crazy time right now.
It is intense.
It is pretty intense. Yeah. It is pretty intense. But thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you had fun playing games with Cookie Eubank.
Yeah.
Love that boy.
Love him.
Just to give you a rundown of what we're doing today. This is HyperCast. We'll be doing this for the next hour. At 2 o'clock, you're doing some survival skills, Malika.
I may be cooking.
Ooh.
We had some technical difficulties as somebody is yelling behind me in the camera. Update, cooking not happening, but cooking in my heart for you, always happening, okay? As you know, food's my love language, and I love you very, very much.
So for today,
yes.
So we're gonna have to kind of play this by ear because we've been having some technical difficulties today. So we have a whole bunch of stuff that we have planned for today, but it may not happen strictly because we're having a big computer issue.
But I can make an attempt to live stream a surgery in progress of our computer. So that's why you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, hyper_RPG on Twitter, but not hyper
that's
with
right.
the underscore on Instagram. Figure that one out.
No matter what, we're going to try to get through this full hour with our very special guest. JacksFilms is here. How you doing, man?
Hey, I'm hanging in there, just taking this fun little pandemic day by day.
Yes.
As is the rest of the world.
Speaking of, I know your Twitter says you're the Yai guy, but can you give them a little intro if they've never seen you before? But who hasn't seen JacksFilms before?
Oh, billions of people haven't seen me before. So I am a YouTuber, sorry in advance, and I have a fun little channel called JacksFilms. We do all sorts of comedy parodies, music videos, sketches. And then I have some series, like long-running series that I also do. My big one is called Yesterday I Asked You, and that is my Q&A show. I ask my viewers a fun little open-ended question, such as describe your love life with a movie title. And then I compile my favorite answers from viewers and people on Twitter and people in YouTube comments, etc. And we make a little show out of it. And I've been doing that for almost 500 episodes in 5+ years.
Wow.
Actually, so like you almost do this show every day for the last half decade.
Right.
That's amazing.
Can we just jump into that?
What is that like?
That is the number one reason why I think I respect and admire you as a content creator, because consistency is, I think, the key to kind of building a consistent audience and that kind of thing. But it's hard. You don't know what will happen from the day to day, as we are figuring out with our tech, concerns.
Right.
But, there may be a pandemic out there. How do you keep going? Because I'm sure not every day is the best day in the world for you.
Yeah, so the show itself is what I found. It's a little hit or miss, asking questions, because all I do is ask viewers on Twitter and in videos new Yai questions. And I never know if the question is going to be a hit or not until I get the answers. And then sometimes a question's great, oh, these answers are awesome, they get it, let's do it. Sometimes I ask a question that I am I for sure know it's going to be a great question, and the answers are just, I don't know, they're all over the place. And it's well, darn, I guess I can't really do that. I have so many failures, so many misses in some questions. But so that the show is just experimentation. It's all about, and it's trying new things too. Sometimes we make little songs out of it. We tell little stories. I've tried to hey, let's see if we can get every comment in the YouTube comments the same comment, and it never works. But I show the results of that. So it changes day to day. And the hardest part for me that I really struggle with is stockpiling. Because how you stockpile a show where you're asking a new question almost every day, right? So that's always been tricky.
That was actually going to be my question: is how are you able to produce these? Do you do it every week, or is it every 2 weeks? What's the sort of schedule
like?
My schedule has varied wildly. I used to do the show almost every damn day, like 5 or 6 or even 7 episodes a week for a while, and then and then I ran out of videos that I stockpiled. So whoops, there went that. Now I'm more in like the 2 to 3 videos a week kind of thing, with most of them being Yai episodes. The exception, of course, being right now because the 500th episode is next, and I don't just want to fart out another video. I want to make a big old hour-long celebration out of it. So it's stockpiling a lot of questions and a billion answers and doing little guest appearances and things like that. When I'm in the thick of it, I'll ask a number of questions in advance over the course of a few days, a couple of days. And that helps me, like, okay, I can make a couple of episodes out of this instead of just one this day and one that day.
Got it.
That must be a very intense workload, especially if you're trying to do multiple videos a week. For us here, we're doing live stuff every day, and just by doing that, we start as soon as we wake up and we end. Malika and I were here till like I forget how late.
I stopped
1 o'clock in the morning or something last night. So I can't even imagine when you're compiling that much information from your audience, how much time that must take to just put all that together, and then the actual process of making the video itself.
And then
I was just going to say, like, that's a good point. Compiling the answers takes hours. It takes hours because it takes a long time for me to like comb all of Twitter and all of YouTube to find, I don't know, 30 or 40 decent answers, and then from there I weed out like a top 20 or 25 answers from that. That itself takes hours. Then the editing process, because filming only takes like 20, 30 minutes to film. And then editing that takes another 3, 4, 5 hours. So that's all one episode.
Wow.
So it adds up.
The loss of sleep definitely adds up after a while.
God, and free time and sanity. But it's a living.
Yeah.
Well, is that what kept you going day after day, year after year? Was like, well, it's my living now, or was there something else that was intrinsically motivating you?
Well, I did treat it like a job, and the fact that's like, well, this is my job. I can't really complain, because everyone's got a gig, so this is mine. But then I really looked forward to some of the more creative Yesterday I Asked You episodes. Like, I find them fantastically rewarding. Like I said, anything involving music, because I love writing music.
Yeah.
And I love writing little jingles and stuff. That's a lot of fun. So marrying my love of songwriting to the format of Yai is a huge challenge, but insanely rewarding. And that's kind of what propels me. And then we have like ones where I'm writing like haikus, or I'm writing new Twitter bios for people, or I'm doing Photoshop. Let me change up your Twitter avatar. And I'll Photoshop here. I'll make you look real cute. That's a lot of. I have a ton of fun doing that because it's a way to stay creative, but still adhere to the formula of Yai.
So amid all this craziness that's been happening for the last 3 weeks, we've been now on week 3 of Camp Social Distance here.
Yeah.
What, aside from making your videos, what have you found time for, I guess, now that, because I think just like us, we work here every single day. So for us, we never have really gained any extra time to do, more relaxing.
Right. Everybody's like, I'm making my
TV shows,
my 5-day a sour bread starter.
I'm baking bread. I'm like, man, that must be nice. I'm sure for you it must be kind of a similar concept, right? Like you're now using that extra time to just put into more videos, I'm assuming.
So here's the thing. I'm fortunate enough where I've always worked from home. So it hasn't drastically, this whole, the whole coronavirus hasn't drastically altered my already homey schedule.
Yeah.
However, my wife and I have made a lot more time in the evenings for things like Animal Crossing, along with, half the world.
Yeah.
That's kind of been our new ritual. And that's kind of like, well, if we're not going to go out ever, let's hunker down and play some video games.
Yeah.
So we've been doing that. Also, I guess I've got a bit more time now to do streaming.
Yeah.
Streaming on Twitch. You guys ever look into that?
No, never
Never
heard
heard
of
of
it.
it.
No.
I just discovered this. Really, look it up. It's cool.
Okay.
But no, I've been finding a lot more time to do fun things on Twitch, and a lot more regularly since I'm going to go to the bar. So it's been that's been pretty rewarding too.
Yeah. I was actually just telling Malika yesterday, since we've been doing this, we're on week 3. Every night at 6, we do watch-alongs normally, and I've watched 23 movies now over the course of the last 3 weeks, which I'm like, cool.
Damn.
I can catch up on stuff I haven't seen in a long time, and I can catch up on stuff I never got a chance to see. So that's been, I think that's probably been my favorite thing to be able to do. Also, I just want to give a huge shout out to everybody from the front page who's watching. Thank you guys so much for being here. If this is your first time at Hyper RPG, say hello in the chat room. We have an amazing community, an amazing group of mods who will give you guys the whole rundown as to what we're doing here. Our special guest today is JacksFilms, and like I said at the top of the show, we have been having a little bit of some technical issues with our computer, so it is a possibility that the rest of the programming that we have for today may happen differently or may not happen. Just bear with us. We're working through it as fast as we can. We're only a crew of 3, and we run a studio for a crew of like 6.
It's like 3 and the dog.
Yeah.
The dog.
You can't forget the dog.
Yeah, the dog
the mascot.
is very important.
The mascot is very important.
Don't count him out.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to just say thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. If you want to continue doing that, you can go to hyperrpg.live. We also do have some prompts set up. If you go to oneshot.straightlogic.com. So what we do at 6 p.m. every night is we do a watch-along of a movie. But we've now turned the tide, and we've made it your responsibility to decide what our movies are. The choices for next week, next Wednesday, are Batman Begins, Ghost Rider from 07, a little Nick Cage action, and Avengers Infinity War. All of these are streaming on Netflix. So if you tip toward, you can use the hashtag for their respective movies, and then maybe at the end of the day, we'll announce what ended up winning. So far, on Monday, we're watching The Evil Dead.
Yep.
And then on Tuesday, we are watching John Carter.
Yep.
All streaming on Netflix. So a good old time, good old time. We also have a new shirt that we launched, Camp Social Distance. That's also available at hyperrpg.live.
Yep.
And we just appreciate all you guys' support, and your support helps us continue doing this every single day and having amazing guests like Jack on, because if we didn't even have access to Zoom or Skype, I don't know how this would work, and it would just be us 3, and you get tired of listening to us.
Well, I think like maybe Jack, he doesn't live close, but he lives close enough that maybe if we found a piece of yarn just long enough,
there you go.
and tie it to an aluminum can, and we put our ears up, we'll put a mic next to the aluminum can, that would be the virtual ear, and we'd be like, Jack, what do you think
just like Rose in Titanic.
about
Jack.
walking your dog during the pandemic?
Hello? I mean, like, what the hell else are we going to do for the next, God knows how long?
Yeah.
I know, for real.
Let me get the yarn.
Yeah.
Fun prospect.
I know.
Speaking of, though, you're kind of, I consider you a funny guy, like a comedic act, however you define yourself. You're one of those funny people
Thank
out
you.
here in LA. Very funny. I love watching your videos. Always puts a smile on my face. And April 1st is kind of a funny day, April Fool's Day. And the days leading up to April Fool's, a lot of people were saying April Fool's is canceled. And especially if you dare make any kind of joke about the virus or the pandemic, I'm coming for you. That's really messed up. People are losing their lives. I completely agree with that. But maybe some more lighthearted fare? I don't know. Adam and I were discussing that. And even Google came out and said, out of respect for everybody's struggles right now, we are not going to be putting out a April Fool's joke. And they actually usually spend quite a bit of their budget April Foolsifying all their products.
Yeah.
And I feel like their April Fool's jokes are they're so lighthearted anyway. They just put out a fake product that we wish we always wanted. And I think it's very interesting that, it's very canceled. And Adam and I even talked about September 11th and Saturday Night Live, a show I really love, and how they decided, should we have the show? Should we not? Is it okay to have like a comedic show during a very somber time? And they decided to do it, but we decided internally, I guess I decided as CEO, that we would not do any April Fool's jokes, so you don't have to.
It's April Fool's today?
Yeah.
The computer's been laughing at you the whole time. You
Oh
just
my
haven't
God, I
heard
had no idea.
it. We had some plans.
Yeah.
Thank God we didn't commit to them. We would have ruined you.
But how
man.
do you feel about just like comedy during this time?
We do. I'm a firm believer that we do need comedy at this time and all times. I don't necessarily think we should cancel April Fool's Day
Right.
altogether.
Right.
We got to be mindful though of
Sure.
what pranks and jokes and ha-has we're releasing today.
Yeah.
So there's a time and a place for Corona jokes.
Yeah.
Maybe not today. Other jokes I think are fair game.
Sure.
I think it I'm not for canceling April Fool's Day altogether. You just
Sure.
you got to pick and choose your jokes and your battles. And real quick, I just want to go back to the Google thing.
Yeah.
Did I read it correctly that Google allocates like 40%
Yes.
of their annual?
Yes.
What the hell?
Whoa.
Yes, I heard
what?
that
What
last
the-
night
I didn't
too.
know that.
Yes, we were.
What the hell?
Yeah, we were reading that article, and I was like,
That's crazy.
Holy moly! Like, wait a second. Google, the thing that is Gmail, YouTube, and all the other products that I can't even. Google Drive, like photos, all those things. Google Plus, that's not a thing anymore.
That is
like,
crazy.
Google Home, all these products, and they're spending like 40% of what their marketing budget on.
Wow.
I think I reread that like 20 times thinking it was a typo.
Yeah,
Oh, they
I
mean
thought it was a
4%.
typo because like that can't be take.
Do like a 12 take. You're just like,
and
what?
then the
What?
other 60% are the
Yeah.
Google Doodles. Like
yeah,
What?
yeah. Right. That's where it all goes.
Oh, boy.
So that was a eye-popping moment. But anywho, yeah. I mean, back to the topic at hand. I think comedy's a-okay at this
Sure.
time. I mean, we were talking before the show that my wife and I all day swap self-isolation memes, coronavirus memes. We're just sharing wonderful, terrible memes because like that's how we're coping through this is making each other laugh. At least that's how we're coping through it. But I kind of need that stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think everybody kind of needs that. We're all so connected to social media that it's very easy to kind of fall into the rut of just like constantly consuming that stuff.
Oh, I need a laugh right now.
I
need a laugh right now.
We had such a good.
The yucks.
We had a couple good ones planned for you, and we're like, is it inappropriate?
Y'all were gonna fuck with me today?
And then Adam, what did you think we were doing down here last night so late?
You told me you were working.
Yeah, we were working.
were.
We were working on making
fooling
something
you.
funny.
Oh, if you tried to pull some shit onto me today, I would have broke somebody's neck.
That's what I told Malika.
somebody would have
That's
been
what I told
broken in
Malika.
half.
That's what I told
Oh
Malika.
my God.
Adam was like, well, maybe the community might get upset because if we make Zach upset, they'll be like, he's already dealing with so many tech issues. They'll say that we're monsters or something.
Yeah, CPU's running at 100% right now. I can't deal with anybody's shit. None. No shit today.
Even really cute April Fool's jokes, like googly eyes on everything.
Oh, there you go. That's harmless,
You
right?
know.
Watch how quickly I burn this studio down.
Ah! Well, it's been nice knowing everybody.
Yeah.
No, but I
Put some
agree.
googly eyes on the graphics card.
Yeah, that's right. No, but I agree though. I think like everybody needs, everyone needs a little bit of that. I mean, okay, we've been doing these movie watch-alongs, and some of them have been like trolley fun things, like
Yeah.
cats, and we did makeup for cats and all that stuff. But then
Oh,
also
I love it.
we've done Hot Rod,
Yeah.
and that's just like a laugh-a-thon.
Okay, Hot Rod was quite honestly, I think, one of the best things I've ever
highlight.
done with a live audience.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so cool to see hundreds of people say, I've never seen this movie before, and then have hundreds of other people quoting the movie the entire time it was happening. It was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's also been one of the things that we've discovered that we really loved about watching stuff with the audience is the amount of people who have never seen some of the movies that we're watching,
Yeah.
and that's been super satisfying. And I had never seen Hot Rod, so that was a whole experience for me, and I loved the movie. It was so
was so
fun. It was so
good.
good. It was so good. Tonight,
smart idea.
if everything
Oh my God.
works out
If
today,
I can fix so my plan right now,
Yeah.
I just got you I ran upstairs, I got you set up to go direct to Twitch from our
Okay.
system upstairs. I built out the overlays and everything. I'm like running a marathon today, I swear to God. So you're ready to go direct to Twitch, so we will
Okay.
have to go offline after this
For 1
show
minute.
and then you'll go direct to Twitch.
30
And then I've
seconds.
got 2 hours
Yeah.
to build a new PC and install all of our software. Can it be done?
I mean, if
Oh,
it's
is that
you,
all?
yes.
Just
Yeah,
2. I've got
yeah.
2 hours.
I mean, you took out the
my-
graphics card in like 20 minutes last night. You can do it.
Well, that's easy. My concern is everything you see on screen and like all of these buttons and everything that everything does. This is all custom software that's linked together through IP addresses. So everything else, like having to manually set up the different IP routing for every one of our pieces of software and how they communicate together. I don't know if I can do it in 2 hours, but I really want to watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles tonight with Andre.
Yo, tonight
So
at 6,
bad.
TMNT with Andre Meadows. So
my
get your
God.
pizzas ready. No pressure, though. Don't put Zach under pressure.
I want to. I'm wondering, like, even if I'm not able to get everything else built, if we just skip the board game today, if I can at least maybe get it set up on the laptop so we can do it. I'll make it happen. One way or another, I'll make it happen.
I mean, when you're wearing a shirt like that, you're going to make it happen.
I'm ready to party.
There you go.
Zach Ventura.
I'm ready to
computer
party.
detective.
But in all seriousness, for all the new people who are tuning in, thank you so much for watching Hyper RPG. We all live together. This is our garage. We are streaming out of our house. We are practicing social distancing. I have not left this garage in 3 weeks. That's partly why I'm going fucking insane.
Yep.
And
I don't even know what the outside world looks like anymore.
Yeah, we are in Los Angeles, which is completely on lockdown, and we have been pushing our tech to the limit to try to get out streams at the quality people expect, but we can't have our PAs here, we can't have our board operators here. So I've set up our entire stream system can be run directly from a stream deck, and everything can be kind of automated like that, but at the same time, it's pushing our system to the max. And yesterday we had 3 shutdowns. We thought it was the graphics card, put a new graphics card in. Today I go live. Live streams tell me hardware encoding fails, which means there's something that's more of a problem on the motherboard to the graphics card, not allowing the graphics card to do the job that needs to be done. So it was still something to do with the PCI Express lane, most likely. But now that I know it's probably the motherboard, I just want to like go. I just want to sit in the tub for a while. Let's just say that. I just want to sit in the tub for a couple hours.
Wash yourself off.
Fucking relax.
Scrub your legs.
But I do really want to say, hey, Jack, what's going on, man? Good to see you, buddy.
Hey, bud.
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Just living out the end of the world. But who isn't, right?
Right? Who isn't? What else we got to talk about, Adam? What you got?
I think you guys should talk about what you've been working on together,
Oh,
right?
yes.
A lot of people may not know this.
Well, Jack and I are on this journey together.
Yeah.
Jack gave us the spiel about Yai Live. Yesterday I asked you, or you, the non-live version, and then you've started to take that show live. And through our partner friend at Twitch, he was like, Jack, there are people who build like tools for these kinds of things because you were running that show manually. And what was that like with all the Google Sheets and combing through all those responses?
So it worked in theory.
Sure.
But good Lord, was that it was a zoo.
Yeah.
Because like literally, it was the type of show where I'd ask a question, and for those who don't know, I'd ask a Yai question, and hundreds, if not thousands, of people would simultaneously submit their answers, and we had it rigged in such a way where they could type their answer in the Twitch chat, and then I would see it on a separate Google Sheet, Google Doc, all of their answers with their usernames. So then I gave myself 2 minutes, comb through hundreds and thousands of answers, and find 5 good ones.
Oh.
5.
I'm sure that worked.
Too edgy.
I'm sure that worked really well.
So
Flawless every time.
Flawless.
0 issues. Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard that story and I heard about your just story in general that you've done over 500 episodes of this show, I'm like, yo, we even just like one of those pain points, just collecting the answers or collecting and sorting those answers, if we could help with that, that would make your life and the next 5 years in which you do Yai Live much easier, right? And so we've been working and play testing and prototyping on your channel and our channel, your system. You being the pro doing this day after day for like 5 years, us being the noobs and JacksFilms fans also running the system. And if you want to like see it out, Jack, you'll be streaming it all the time on your channel, and it will help us in our development if you try to break it. And I am saying this right now on the front page of Twitch. I think there are thousands watching right now. I know you kiddos, you like to break things that game developers like to make. I am welcoming you with open arms.
Whoa, what are you doing?
Whoa.
Hold on. Hold the fuck on here.
I gotta go.
We're working like 17-hour days right now. I don't want to call tomorrow being like, okay, they broke it again. We got to drop everything and start working on these back-end tools. Come on, what the fuck are you doing?
It's already happened.
Yeah, I mean,
The commitments have been made.
It's happened once, but you didn't directly challenge the fucking internet to break our shit.
Well, now, oops.
Oh, God.
No, Zach, she was very clear with the words. She said only breaking my shit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
just going to
Totally
ignore your
different.
calls for the next couple of weeks. We're not around. We're busy.
And then,
my gosh.
and speaking of trolls, there is a bug reporting form that if you are playing this game with Jack live as we're still developing it, you can fill out the bug reporting form. And one of the questions on there, and I think I should have worded it better. It was like, "What were you doing when the bug occurred?" And normally, like a professional QA tester, which all of Twitch is not, would say like,
I was eating a sandwich.
Yes, there was so much like I was eating cold pizza with pepperoni on it, and I'm like, that does not help me fix
I was
the
eating
bug.
Paschetti with milk, and you're like, I don't know about your personal life. Fuck, come on.
I love this.
Ask what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I love this
all right.
because this is the audience you've curated where they're so used to filling out these kinds of forms, but with more of a humorous take, that a simple question of, what were you doing when the bug happened? I can only imagine the responses.
I've
Oh,
got a
my mind
couple
went
hundred.
the obvious place. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm surprised that we haven't had, okay, nothing too inappropriate. Now that I'm actually...
Wait, can I give the pitch of what the game is for those
Sure.
who are
Yeah.
Yeah,
pitch it,
absolutely.
pitch it.
Yeah.
So, if I may make the comparison, if you've ever played Jackbox and more specifically Quiplash, the game that we're kind of building out is very similar to Quiplash, although instead of 4 to 8 people submitting answers, it's more like 400 to 800 people submitting answers simultaneously.
Or more like 4,000 to 8,000, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And then everyone is simultaneously voting on each other's answers in little groups of 4. It's super fun. It's one of those, as soon as you submit your very funny answer, boom, you're then hit with 4 random answers from 4 random players, and you vote for your favorite out of those 4, and then whoop, you get 4 more, do the same thing. Meanwhile, everyone else is doing the same thing until answers rise to the top, and it's super fun. It's kind of like a little lottery system. You never know if like your answer is going to be among the top 10 or the top 4 or whatever. And it's chaotic. It's crazy. It's wildly unpredictable. And it's a bit of a rush. So we will be testing that constantly if you guys want to play.
I think it's like a bit of a rush for you too, as the administrator, as the streamer running the game, because you're seeing all these answers come in. And in the past, when you were scrolling through all those Google Sheets and giving yourself 2 minutes to find the funniest answers, now the audience votes on their favorite answers. So, if you're working too hard in this life, just make the internet do it, I guess. And
It's
see what happens.
crowdsourcing the game.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
crowdsourcing. What were you doing? I think somebody said like a hot dog with hot mustard.
Okay. All right.
Sweet baby
So
Jesus.
we've got some comic book news today, right? It is Wednesday,
It is
comic
New Comic Book Day.
but there's no fucking new comic books.
So normally on Wednesdays we do a show called Comics and Coffee, where Zach and I will read a select amount of new comic books and then we talk about them. And the last 3 weeks that we've been doing social distancing, we've been reading a comic book aloud with for the audience, and that's been really, really fun. But the comic book industry is on fucking hold this week.
Shutting down.
Shut down completely.
We talked about last week how Diamond Publishing kind of put a pause on shipping out to your local comic book store, which you should have been supporting.
Yeah.
But they were like, we're going to put a pause on that. And we talked to Dinesh, the producer of Bloodshot, who used to be the CEO of Valiant Comics here on the show. And he said that was the right move because Diamond has so many people, like 12 people can come into contact with one book within their factory. And it's just too many hands on the product, and it's too risky
right
of
now.
a situation, not knowing how COVID-19 could pass through those books possibly.
Yeah.
So he thought it was the best idea to shut it down. But now, in solidarity, Marvel and DC and Boom and Image have all decided, because the local comic book stores couldn't get their physical copies, Comixology and digital retailers won't get them either. So I logged into Comixology today, and
Why is there only 40 books?
There's just the really, really weird,
digital onlys,
digital only,
or
and
some very, very indie stuff,
and like hentai
comics.
stuff.
Well, some
That's still publishing.
you got to scratch that itch sometimes. You know what I mean?
Out there. Getting that out there.
But yeah, so I mean, it's like we're in a really interesting time right now because I think Diamond Comics also announced that they are having some cash flow issues as well. So they're also not paying. 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 So they're also not pay publishers and all that sort of stuff. So like, there's a huge just like hold on everything right now, and it's kind of unfortunate because I think all of us try to do our best to support our local comic book shops. Like here in LA, we have several ones that are very, very popular and that people go to all the time, and they all have their own pull lists and stuff. So I think in terms of business, it sucks that comic book shops are not able to get new shipments. And I think this is going to go on for at least until the end of the month. It could go longer, possibly, kind of depending on what happens here.
As of right now, they've only announced this week.
So far this
we'll
week.
see how big of a hit these companies take before they're not willing to play nice with local comic book stores anymore. Because I can't imagine these large publishers like Marvel, DC, Boom.
Right.
I mean, Boom and Image are like a fraction of Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
The comic book industry is really small.
Yep.
I think people imagine it much bigger than it is, but it's very
shrunken
small.
a lot. Yeah.
It's very small. Jack, question for you.
Yeah.
Do you happen to partake in the reading of comic books?
So I'm very basic. I've read the basics. I've read Watchmen. I've read some classic Batman graphic novels. Killing Joke.
That's right, the graphic novels. Yes, of course.
Yes. Come on,
Yes,
please,
of course.
please get it right.
Graphic
It's an
novels.
action figure. It's not a doll. But like, I have not really like kept up with it.
Yeah.
But I've dipped my toes in that.
Okay.
field before.
I was going to tell everybody that if you were wanting to pick up some books right now, Comixology Unlimited is very inexpensive, and I know that a lot of people are probably binge watching content on Netflix.
Yeah.
But if you get to the end of Netflix and you're like, what else do we do?
A little end of the universe.
Comixology Unlimited is great. You can usually read about like the first 20 issues of a book before then you have to buy the volumes after. And there's some great stuff on there. And here at HyperRPG, we like to recommend comic books to people. So, for instance, Jack, we'll do this little game with you. What are your favorite genres of movie? Like, what are a couple of your favorite movies? And I'll give you a comic book recommendation.
Okay, so I'm an action guy.
Okay.
Not averse to a little thriller.
Okay.
And I'll also throw in comedy in there.
Okay, so
What do you got?
I'm going to say Nick Spencer is the writer you're going to want to go for. And there's a couple books that Nick Spencer has put out in the last couple years. One, The Fix, is really great. The Fix is a book that comes out from Image Comic Books that's kind of like a buddy cop comedy book. But also, Nick Spencer's run on the Superior Foes of Spider-Man is absolutely amazing. It's instead of the Sinister Six, it's just like all of Spider-Man's not that great criminals teaming up together. And
I love that idea.
And it's really fun, really funny, and great just overall action comedy. And then the next thing I would recommend is Matt Fraction's Hawkeye run, which came out in, I think, 2010 to 2012 in that area. Absolutely amazing. Just pick up the first issue, Hawkeye #1 from Matt Fraction, and it will blow your mind. You could just put on a good like action soundtrack, and you'll be flipping the pages. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Dude, thank you for those recommendations. And that was really impressive, by the way. I gave you 3 separate genres, and they're like, boom, this is the guy you want, or guys you want.
That's Zach for you.
You have to recognize when you're talking to Zach, you were talking to somebody who, up until recently, read every comic book of Spider-Man ever.
You're all the way
Oh
up
my
to
God.
what? The year what?
What?
What do you? Oh no, I'm 6 months behind.
6 months behind.
6 months behind.
Yeah, you've read almost every single Spider-Man comic book in existence.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I haven't gone into other languages because there are some weird like published in other language books that didn't
Sure.
come out in America kind of stuff. Ooh! If this is the cringe content you're looking for, front page. If you're looking for cringe, look no further than HyperRPG. We got you covered, baby.
found it.
Oh,
We got
man.
you covered.
Impressive.
We
Yeah.
hit all the marks,
Yeah,
baby.
we got you covered.
Camp Cringe.
If you want some cringe, we got you.
We got you, baby boo. We got you.
Yeah, we got you.
Comic book that I've well, it's an artist and a writer who I've really come to appreciate in a very short amount of time is Daniel Warren Johnson. He's done a couple comics now, but 2 that I've read.
Oh my God. Oh man.
Murder
Oh.
Falcon.
Okay, Jack, are you a fan of heavy metal, like music, and how it's just absolutely ridiculous?
I definitely appreciate the ridiculousness of it sometimes, yes.
Okay, if I asked you what your favorite Dio song was, could you answer it?
I could not.
Okay, all right. Well, we won't go too deep into this book then.
Yeah, yeah. But it's one of the craziest like heavy. It's for me when I read it, it felt like heavy metal meets John Carpenter.
Yeah.
It like had this amazing blend of like just crazy batshit nuts, like over the top. And I actually listened to John Carpenter music, and then I mixed in a little bit of like metal while reading the book, and it's amazing. I think it's 8 issues.
It's a very short
It's
run.
very short. I
Very
think it's 8
short,
issues,
easy
yeah.
to pick up. You can get the entire thing in a volume trade,
Yeah.
and that would be an amazing way to pass the time.
It's great.
There's some dual-page spreads in that book that are just chef's kiss. Yeah, so good.
He's also writing currently a book called Wonder Woman Dead Earth, I believe it's called, and there's 2 issues out right now, and it's Wonder Woman meets heavy metal, and it is
cool.
fucking fantastic.
Yeah, very first book, Batman's dead and she steals all his shit.
Yeah, she's wearing this utility belt. Everyone's been like mutated. It's sick. I love it so much.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, Adam, now that I'm sitting here, I can cut to the stuff you were wanting to show earlier about our movie watch along stuff. I've got all that stuff pulled up here, so we've got.
Pull up the first one.
All right.
So these are the choices for next Wednesday's watch along. So you can go to oneshot.straylogic.com. You can use the hashtags. I believe you set them up. Batman Begins, Ghost Rider,
Infinity War.
War.
Yep.
And you can tip towards one of those 3, and at the end of the day, we will check the scores to see who the winner is. Some three top choices.
And next week?
So far the chat room has decided that Monday we're watching The Evil Dead, and Tuesday we are watching John Carter, a movie that I actually worked on.
Oh, no
and
shit.
think it's pretty good.
No shit. You worked on that one.
Yeah, so I come from the visual effects industry, so I did some visual effects work, and I also did helped with the 3D conversion of that movie.
I mean, I thought it was cool that our chat room voted for John Carter over Hook. You know, whatever.
Yeah. Yesterday we had Hook, John Carter, and what was the third one?
Dolomite.
And Dolomite.
Dolomite is my name.
Dolomite is my name, and I will not say the rest.
I like Hook. I know a lot of people in the chat were like, Hook's overrated. I'm like, I have such fond memories
It's
of
fun.
that movie.
It's a fun movie. And
Fun
like,
memories.
look, Robin Williams is great in that movie.
Yeah.
Him and Dustin
Yeah.
Hoffman are a great pair. And I actually saw it, not a re-release, but they had a one-off, like one-night screening at the Vista Theater. And like, I still really enjoy that movie. It's a little slow in parts, but it's fun.
I was going to say we might be able to check how the contest is going so far for next week's movie, but I'm not after that quick reboot and me running around the house like crazy. I can't remember if I wired it in. So I'm going to hit a button, and if it shows up,
Oh,
we
no.
know. If it doesn't show up,
Dun, dun, dun,
I don't
dun, 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 dun,
hey, I did it. Okay.
dun, 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 dun,
Okay, so it looks like we've got it looks like
Ooh, it's a tie between Batman Begins and Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I cannot believe that Infinity
Tie
War is
between
so low.
Batman's-
I
yeah.
guess everyone's been watching Avengers movies probably
I think it's maybe it's just too
too new.
recent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's too recent.
Yeah.
Batman Begins is now 15 years old. That's insane.
Oh wow.
2005.
Wow. I'm old.
And Ghost Rider is 13 years old. Jesus, where has the time gone?
Wait.
Jack, I want to know, what have you been watching now that you're stuck in your house as well? What have you been filling your time with content-wise?
Yeah, so our little ritual is rewatching, well, in my case, watching for the first time, Scrubs, the entirety
Okay,
of
all right.
Scrubs. It's a show that I somehow completely skipped when it was in its prime, when it was on air, and now my wife Erin loved it, and she watched it when it was on, so she was like, "We should watch Scrubs. I think you'd like it." I'm like, "I don't know, seems kind of silly." I love it. You know, I'm invested in the characters, the relationships, Dr. Cox. It's funny. It's kind of like 30 Rock in a separate universe, and I'm a huge 30 Rock fan. So that's kind of been our little obsession as of late.
Cool.
What else? I mean, like playing a lot of Animal Crossing. That's kind of been our little go-to as well. I really want to get into Doom Eternal. I know that's the other big one that everyone is kind of gaming up.
I jumped into it for a little bit, and I dug it. It was good. I haven't had too much time. I spent the weekend playing the new Predator beta that was out on beta over the weekend, and that was real fun.
Yeah, Al Silvestri in there.
Yeah, the soundtrack from the movie was in the game, and that made it worth it completely.
Yeah.
That was all I needed, and it was really great.
Have you jumped on this Tiger King trend?
Oh my goodness gracious.
Of course. Oh, we watched it early. Absolutely.
I'm the only person on earth who probably has not
Dude.
watched this
Oh
show
man,
yet.
I gotta up my
Give
wardrobe.
it a chance.
Yeah.
Give it a chance.
Yeah.
It is bonkers. It's honestly, I would call it the most entertaining docuseries I've seen since The Jinx. I don't know if any of you have seen The Jinx, but oh my God, it was just, it was larger than life. Every character, every single person in that show is larger than life.
Yeah.
Okay, I have an honest question for you then. They just announced, of course, what was it, Monday, that the
Yeah.
rights have been bought for a movie version. How do you think that how could that even be turned into a movie when the characters are already larger than life and so ridiculous, stranger than fiction? You know, how do you foresee them making that a movie?
I'm honestly like, I kind of don't want to see that movie because how do you, it would, you know, it would be like The Room when they made that a movie. I forget the title of the movie. It escapes me right now. But like a lot of people were like, I mean, they do decent impressions of, you know, the cast and crew from The Room with, you know, real Hollywood actors. But like, if you've seen The Room and you kind of know the story behind it, then why bother? It's already crazy entertaining.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about a movie adaptation of Tiger King.
Yeah.
And I'm over it.
If you're a fan of The Room, I highly suggest listening to the audiobook of The Disaster Artist.
Thank you. That's it.
Yeah, The Disaster Artist, which was made into a movie by James Franco and his brother Dave Franco and Seth Rogen and all them. The book it's based on is written by the guy who plays Mark in the movie.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Yep. And the book is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It goes way deeper. It's like a day-by-day play of how production went, how much money they spent, how everything happened, and how long he knew Tommy and exactly. There's so much stuff in that book that didn't show up, and he reads the audiobook too.
Oh, that's even
and that
better.
that makes it so good. I remember the first time we opened a studio in Seattle and listened to it the whole drive up, and really, really good. Really good.
That's amazing.
All right, I'm going to put that on my next on my audiobook list because that sounds pretty damn entertaining.
Yeah.
Something else that I think is worth mentioning that we're going to start experimenting with on this show is we're going to allow the audience to help us choose what topics to discuss on this show.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that the world is evolving every minute of every day, sometimes it's a little tough for us to really try to find. We're trying to curate as many things to talk about in the most concise way possible. But so we want to let people know that if you tip $25, you can submit a topic for the show. And regardless of how many topics we get, you know, we'll try to do 4 to 5 a day, and whatever is left over, we'll roll it over to the next day. So you have an opportunity to do that. I know there's a lot of people who will hit us up on social media and they'll ask like, "Hey, this topic, what's your opinion? What's your opinion?" And throughout the day, it's really tough for us sometimes to respond to every tweet and every ask. But we figured this is a great way.
We're also not a news company.
No,
we're not.
We're not
we're
news.
not.
We're not news. This is not news.
No.
No one on Twitch is fucking news.
No.
Like
this is
opinion-based content.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else for facts. We're gonna talk about
shit that we love.
Yeah, and we will talk about some serious stuff, and we have since all this started.
Yeah.
But it's a discussion piece. We're here to have a conversation with you, not to be the authority on anything.
Yeah. So if you want to submit,
except comic books.
That's right.
Okay.
That's
well,
right.
you know that's different. Yeah. That's different.
Comics, movies. We think we can handle that pretty well.
We'll handle that.
Yeah. But if you want to, you know, I think it's a really great way for us to even diversify the stuff that we're talking about. You know, we tend to usually, for the most part, stick to like movies, and then we give updates on kind of what's happening in our industry overall and what's happening in our town, in our city. But I mean, if you're from anywhere around the world and there's something that you want to share about, like what's going on or how your country's dealing with something, I think that's also something very valuable to talk about as well.
Since we started doing this show in particular, HyperCast, we've been trying to interview people from around the world.
Yeah.
If you're tuning in right now and you think you have an interesting story, hit us up on Twitter. You know, we want to hear from people. We've said this many times on this. You matter, and your voice matters. This is a worldwide pandemic, and we want to know your story. Everyone has a story in this. Every single person is dealing with this in one way or another, and if they're not now, they will be later eventually.
Yeah.
We're all in this together. We are trapped in this fucking hellhole of a garage right now together, all of us.
Because we live here.
Oh, for all the people wondering why we're not social distancing, we live together.
Yeah,
this
we
is
all
our
live
house.
together.
We live here.
This is our house.
We live here.
Yeah.
And Jack's in the closet.
Yeah.
And he's been in there for 3 weeks.
We only gave him a low quality webcam, and
That's right.
that's his only contact with the outside
I was
world.
gonna ask you, like, what the hell? It doesn't seem fair. Oh well.
Yeah, and I mean, the whole reason why we started doing, so we've done this podcast previously, but we were only doing it once a week. And then when we first started doing Camp Social Distance, we didn't start this. This wasn't how we normally started the day. And then we thought, you know what? This is a great opportunity for us to reconnect with each other, to see how we're all doing, to connect with what's happening in the outside world, and more importantly, to connect with our audience. Because I think, you know, if we were to just go into a game, it wouldn't give us the time to really get to know and understand how everybody else is dealing with what's happening. So for us, this is like a great opportunity for everyone to get on the same page, and then we can go into the next thing and have fun.
Skyrocket my blood pressure.
That's right.
Yeah, just skyrocket it.
That is the funnest activity of
Yeah,
the
and
day.
for those that are wondering, like we are the only people in this house.
Yeah.
There is no crew. We have nobody. The camera is on a robot right now.
Yep.
Everything is preset to Stream Decks. It's all just us, and we've been streaming about 10 hours a day. If you're enjoying the content, please do think about subscribing to HyperRPG. We're streaming close to 50 hours a week right now, just the three of us trying to keep the lights on. Malika's going to be cooking some red curry upstairs next.
I figure we want to pound our frustrations into something. We'll pound it into something delicious.
Malika, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
Why is that upsetting?
Okay. Highway to the danger zone. You can also use your Amazon Twitch Prime.
Is this a guy thing?
Amazon Prime to subscribe using Twitch Prime.
Yeah, you can use
That was the
Twitch
most
Prime.
confusing
It's free.
explanation.
It's
It was
free.
free. That's all that matters.
We're
It's free for
operating
you.
on about 3 hours of sleep a night.
I slept on my desk last night again, and I'm not going to do that tonight because
Yeah.
my body hurts.
I've been having stress dreams. And I don't know how many people in the audience can relate to this. Like, I think just the stress of keeping the stream up every day and some of the tech issues that we've been having.
You should tell them about what the stress stream was about.
I think this is like a thing that's funny to you because we're married, but to anyone else, they would just be like, I don't know, that just sounds like a normal stress stream. It's just like, in my dream, the world was ending.
Did your dog eat you?
No, a bunch of loud explosions were being heard in the sky, and the ground was shaking, and we were running into a bunker, and Kaiju got scared of the noises and ran the other direction, and Malika was like, fuck this bunker, I'm going after Kaiju, and tried to run after Kaiju, and I had to grab her and throw her over my shoulder, and she was screaming and hitting me on the back, and but
Did you watch Batman versus Superman last night? Is that why you have a nightmare dream?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it's because the freaking shit's crazy out there right now, man. It's crazy out there, and I think just the added stress of keeping a job,
But if the
keeping
world-
the bills paid, and then all of the other stuff, it's just like piling up,
What?
If the world was ending, I would sacrifice everything to run after my dog.
You would. You would. You were so pissed at me. You were screaming at me as I
my
was carrying you
God.
into the bunker.
I mean, have you seen Kaiju?
I mean, he's
pretty
pretty
cute.
cute. He's pretty cute.
He is pretty adorable.
Pretty
Yeah.
cute.
I wonder how he's doing through all this. Every time I see him in the kitchen, he's just like laying on the couch, and he's just got this very mildly sad face. I'm like, buddy,
Stop it.
buddy, we got to get you out of this house too.
Well, I've been taking advantage of doing all the things he hates, like trimming his nails and
Yeah.
giving him a bath.
He was not happy about that.
No, he was like just evil eye the rest of the weekend.
Yeah. We're also working on getting some really amazing guests for the show as well. We have Jack, and that's been
Hey,
that's
Jack,
been
you're
amazing.
pretty cool.
You're pretty all right.
Yeah.
You're pretty all right.
I think you said amazing, but okay, whatever.
Well, that was Adam. Him and I have a different language that we use to describe
Fair.
things. Pretty cool is about the highest compliment you're ever going to get.
There's nothing truer than what was just stated. But tomorrow we've got some exciting guests, right, from the complex.
Yes, we have the director and the main actress,
Michelle Milet.
Who is on Letterkenny.
Yeah,
and
pitter patter, let's get at it,
It's
boys.
so hard for me not to make an ass out of myself.
I know.
And quote
I
Letterkenny
know.
the whole interview.
Please, Lord, don't let me do that. For the love of God, please.
Like, would you now? Oh.
We're going to ruin this whole thing.
Well, to be fair.
Yeah.
No, just,
No. But we actually did a watch along or a play a let's play of the
Let's
complex
Play.
yesterday, and that was extremely fun. I've never done one of those. Period. And I thought
I don't
want
to spoil it for people, but apparently we had one of the worst endings.
You ruined it.
I didn't ruin it. We had the chat was
I'm
voting.
not talking about you.
Okay, yeah, it's you, chat. You did it.
But it was really fun. And so tomorrow they will be our guests, and then we're working on some other really fun guests for the rest of the week as well, and obviously into next week. So we hope you guys stick around and watch.
If you're enjoying, please, front page viewers, at least think about hitting that follow button. Like I said, we go live every day at 11 a.m., and we are live usually until 10 to 11 p.m., close to 12 hours a day during all of this to try to make people feel connected and not so alone.
We didn't let people know that every $500 we pick people to join our fun clubhouses.
Well, I feel like this is one of those things when you're explaining this to a bunch of people who don't know who we are, they'll be like, this sounds like a fucking cult. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Join the cookie club.
One of our producers who unfortunately cannot be in this house and is social distancing somewhere
He's also
else.
your brother.
Yeah.
He
Don't
streams from his house at 11 a.m. every morning.
To our channel.
On our Discord, discord.gg/hyperrpg, people can, he has a private clubhouse. And we pick winners every day to join that clubhouse, and he will choose an activity this weekend for everyone to do together. It was my clubhouse last weekend, and I watched Tiger King with all of the winners that were in my clubhouse.
Yeah.
And that was a weird 8 hours of us all getting to know each other through experiencing Tiger King together.
That's amazing.
I got a headache in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is stressful.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh man. So good.
So good.
I really want to get some new shirts though now after watching that.
Oh my God. His wardrobe
It's amazing.
I feel like we need to like figure out some sort of a thing where just until we get out of this hell, that you are going to walk out of this house in a mullet when this is all over.
Yeah.
It's very possible.
Yeah, yeah.
It's very possible.
Yeah, because
They're
I don't want
coming
you
back. They're coming back.
Come on.
Yeah.
Everything makes a comeback, right?
Trendsetters. We're gonna be
But are you
trendsetters.
also going to be putting out the country music videos?
No.
You fucking ha.
Nah, I'm not going to do that.
You're sure you're going to do that?
No, I'm not going
Not
to do
gonna
that.
Are you sure?
My Arkansas is going to start coming out if we
you
keep
got
talking like this.
progressive
I'm going to have to spend the rest of the day trying to get rid of it. Don't do this to me.
Right. Well, you
Come on,
know,
man.
Don't
Come on,
stop
man.
it.
Come on,
Stop
it's
it.
good for you. Come on, man.
I thought
Jack,
it
say
was-
something.
You're having a good old time, you know what I mean?
Oh, I ain't saving you. You're on your own, dude.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
All right. What do you got? Any more topics for us, Adam? What else is on the list?
The last topic that I thought kind of goes back to what we were talking about yesterday, where we saw that Disney and other companies, their higher tier executives are sort of foregoing a lot of their salaries.
Right.
So Comcast and NBC Universal has also joined that front, and all of their top executives are going to be donating all of their salaries towards coronavirus relief efforts, and a lot of it will primarily focus on all of their employees, crew, cast, who are now without work because our entire film industry has shut down. I would say, I don't have the actual stat, but I don't think it's an over-exaggeration to say at least 95 to 90% of our industry is like completely shut down.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I actually called up one of my friends yesterday who's a filmmaker, and I'm like, what are you doing right now? And he's like, I am editing one video, and I am teaching one online class about filmmaking, and that's it. Do you got anything for me?
yeah.
Speaking of, though, for those of you who are filmmakers in the making, the Sundance Institute has all their master classes for free now.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
that's really cool.
I want to do a watch along.
You know,
Alright.
if you're following me on Twitter,
right.
I tweeted out the link. But yeah, they have a lot of cool
Why is she going to throw that shade at us? I swear.
classes.
Like, we're excited to hear the news. You don't have to shade us immediately after.
Why are you assuming I'm shading you?
Oh, we know how to read your shade.
Oh, what does a Malika
I'm on
shade
week
look
3
like?
of living with a married couple. It's going great. God help me.
But there's a lot of really cool topics, including storytelling and gaming, writing, IP protection. So there's all sorts of stuff for people of all levels. Check it out.
Yeah, no, I think that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I should clarify too. So those executives are donating their salaries towards relief funds, and on top of that, NBC Universal Comcast started a $500 million relief fund for their employees. So it's two separate things, which I think is great. And I think, as many companies in our industry that can do that, they should be doing that. Any resources that they can provide towards dealing with the pandemic, I think is great. There was another article that came out that the people who run Coachella, because they're an events company and they're used to putting up all these tents for all these events and stuff, they're now shifting their efforts towards helping build, anything that will help hospitals and doctors' offices and all that sort of stuff to help deal with what's happening in the world. So I think that's all really good.
Great.
Good
Yeah.
You got anything else you want to add, Jack? We're getting towards the end of this segment
We are.
of our daily shows. Like I said, coming up next, Malika's going to be teaching you all how to make red curry.
Yeah.
And you're going to use the
Motor and pestle to crush the ingredients
Okay.
that will then make them release flavorful oils into your food.
Is that
Okay.
I mean, that sounded less sexual than pound something that feels good.
I'm here. Hey, I'm your local Thai friend. If you never had one, I'm here for you. And I'm going to be talking about all sorts of sexualized superstitions about women making curry paste.
Whoa. Hold on.
Oh, sweet mother of Jesus, Lord help me.
Sexualized superstitions about curry paste.
Yeah. I'll give you a free one. Apparently, if a woman pounds the mortar and pestle with nothing in it, her boobs will go flat to the ground. That is a real Thai superstition. There you go, free one, and you're gonna have to check it out in about 5 minutes when I start.
Okay. No. Yeah. Cool.
Thank you for coming to our TED Talk
Cool.
today.
Oh, is that real? Does that work?
He's about to open Control T. Google. Is this a real thing?
This is a real thing. Trust your Thai friend. I'm an expert of all things Thai.
Chat room
I
just
speak for
said
my
that.
whole country. Yeah.
Chat room just said that Zach has aged another 80 years because of that.
Yeah. It happens.
It happens.
Jack, what else you got going on? You want to tell everybody about?
Yeah, what the heck is going on? I'm still trying to crank out those YouTube videos and those little funny ha-has on my YouTube channel at JacksFilms. I do all sorts of crazy things. I want to do another grade your videos. It's my little class where I grade viewers' videos they send to me, and I take my 14 years of YouTube experience and I tell them like, all right, you get a B for editing, but a C- for the masking. I do that kind of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too serious. And then, of course, I'm also here on Twitch. I'll be doing my own darn thing. We'll be testing out Yai Live, of course, doing much more of that. I'm playing another game called Are You Funnier Than a YouTuber? Been doing that for the past few nights, and that's been also wildly unpredictable and very tense. Just streaming and memeing.
Cool.
That's what I'll be doing.
Thanks so much for joining us, man. Really appreciate
Thanks for having me.
For those that don't know, Jack is a good friend of ours that we've been doing some work for behind the scenes, but also he was a guest on the show that I run on Monday nights called Kolok 1991, where he plays a murderous mortician.
Murderous mortician.
And it's real good.
Look at this face, right?
Yeah, and you can find those episodes up on YouTube searching Kolok 1991. If you want to watch the episodes with Jack, you can just search his name along with that and check those out. And I haven't got to talk to you since we did the whole dead body gag.
Are you okay?
Have you recovered?
I'm more traumatized by the company I was with, because I cannot tell you how intimidating it is for a newbie like me, someone who's very green when it comes to tabletop games in general, much less staying in character and improvising. I have no improv experience. And I'm surrounded by, grade A actors, voice actors, a damn WWE superstar, someone who's been in front of jillions of people. That was so intimidating that the dead body, the corpse in front of me was like, But I'm still shaken from that. It was cool, and I cannot wait until our next collaboration, whenever that may be.
Well, you're still alive. Your character's still alive, so
all right.
we gotta. And it might
again.
be sooner than you think, because Crank Gameplays and I have been talking about his next appearance, and now that we're on break right now because of the COVID-19 stuff, we've been talking about what we want to do with his character, Cheese, who is the,
He doesn't really have a body right now.
Doesn't have a body right now.
Yeah, so maybe you could help him.
Exactly. You might be able to help with the body situation.
Yeah.
Where's little Queso? He's back there.
He's right there.
back
Oh, you
there.
want to show
Yeah.
off
Will we
little?
be able to see him?
Nope. Can't see him. Can't see him.
No.
That's
Oh,
fine.
well, no.
That's fine.
Another day.
But thank you so much, Jack, for joining us today. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
And hope you are staying safe and sane in the middle of all of this crazy stuff.
And if there's a movie,
back at you.
we gotta invite Jack to watch a movie with us one night.
Yeah. Is there a particular movie that you consider one of your cult favorite movies?
Great for a
Oh
group.
boy.
Watch it over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, no, Groundhog's Day is such an easy choice. I have not, I haven't seen the Lord of the Rings trilogy in about
So you,
20
instead of
years.
saying a movie, you were like, hey, do you want to spend 14 hours together?
You're very lonely, aren't you?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Extended edition.
Extended
Oh.
edition, let's
Oh,
do
God.
it. Okay.
Obvi.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But seriously, thank you, man.
Yeah, thank
you,
you.
everybody else, for watching today. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We're going to cut to a wait screen. You're going to see a small blip in the signal because, like I said, I have to take our main computer down here and completely rebuild it. So at the beginning of the show, I set up the stream for Malika upstairs on another machine, and we will have to go down and then quickly back up. So if you're enjoying the content and you want to hang out with us today and be a part of the community, stick around. Don't go anywhere. Like I said, we might go offline and right back. So if you're on the front page, click through to HyperRPG, hang out with us, and enjoy some company in your practicing of social distancing at home.
6 feet.
At least. At least. Thank you guys so much. Bye.